Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Education Board.
Hello everyone, I'm Teacher John. It's nice to meet you. This time we are in Senior 4, where we are working on unit number 6 of quadratic equation and inequalities. Of course, I'll be working with Senior 4 students, but I call upon even those Senior 5 students and Senior 6 to join this lesson, because we are going to talk about general inequalities, solving general inequalities. It means we're going to work on different kinds of inequalities involving quadratic inequalities. But before that, let us start with an activity of solving a quadratic inequality. Dear students, I hope you have your pens and the exercise book. So we have inequality here. Solve the following inequality in the set of real numbers. The inequality is minus 3x squared plus 13x minus 4 greater than 0. You need few seconds to solve that inequality. Remember that solving inequality, you may give the set of solution. So go on. Okay, I hope you are ready. You have done what you're supposed to do. Let us work on chalkboard to find the solution of this inequality. Please follow on chalkboard. Remember, when you have this inequality, first of all, you need to find the critical values. Means that the inequality is transformed in equation, and we solve that equation so that we can have the critical values, which will help us to make the sign diagram. So I'll be having minus 3x squared plus 13x minus 4 equals 0. This is a quadratic equation. I'm going to solve this quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. So the discriminant is given by b squared minus 4ac. Of course, b is 13 squared minus 4 times a is equal to minus 3, then times c, minus 4. This will be 169, negative sign, negative sign, negative sign, that will be negative. 4 times 4, no. 4 times 3, this is 12, times 4, this is minus 48. The difference is 121. So this is 11 squared. And you know, the root x1 and x2, as the discriminant is greater than 0, I have a 2 root, minus b, plus or minus root of discriminant divided by 2 times a. This will be minus 13 minus square root of 121 is 11 divided by 2 times minus 3. And here we have minus 13 plus 11 divided by 2 times negative 3. This is minus 24 divided by minus 26, which is equal to 4. And here it is minus 2 divided by minus 6. This is 1/3. Then the sign diagram. I have the variable is x. My number line is from negative infinity. Of course, that is the set of real numbers to positive infinity, passing it through these roots, 1/3 and 4. So the expression is minus 3x squared plus 13x minus 4. This expression is equal to 0 at 1/3 and at 4. As this is a quadratic expression, between these two roots, I will have the opposite sign of the leading coefficient. Leading coefficient is minus 3. As it is negative, the opposite sign will be positive. Means that between 1 divided by 3 and 4, it will be positive, otherwise it is negative. Remember that you are solving inequality. So I have to write my inequality, minus 3x squared plus 13x minus 4, which is greater than 0. When it is greater than 0, means that I'm going to consider the positive interval. And the positive interval is at this level, means that from 1/3 up to 4. So the set of solution is from 1/3 up to 4. The interval is open because the inequality is strict. Okay? All right, so this is our set of solution. Check if your answer is similar to this one. Is it the same? Oh, wonderful. Clap for yourself. Yes. Now, let us have a look at a general inequality. Means that this kind of inequality, you can have either the quadratic inequality. Why not inequality of order greater than 1? Even the product of linear inequality, linear expression, and the quadratic expression, and so on. So the method of solving such kind of inequality is using the Venn diagram. You can have a different method, but the Venn diagram is the most important, most recommended for this kind of inequality. So let us explain a few examples. Here we have to solve this inequality in the set of real numbers. We have x minus 1 times x squared plus 1 divided by x plus 2, which is greater than 0. Of course, we shall see the other case where the inequality is greater than or equal to 0, less than 0 or less than or equal to 0. Means that in this example, we have 4 questions. So let us solve our inequality using the sign diagram. Please follow. First of all, I have to change this inequality into equation. So it means that I have x minus 1 times x squared plus 1 divided by x plus 2 greater than 0, means that x minus 1 times x squared plus 1 divided by x plus 2 equals 0. This is equal to x minus 1 times x squared plus 1 equals 0, provided that x plus 2 is different from 0, because this is the denominator. And when we divide, I have to make sure that the denominator is different from 0. And when we represent the set of solution, we have to reject that root of the denominator. Means that the value of the variable for which that denominator equals 0. So that number, that value should be rejected from our set of solution. Then, using the zero product property, I'm going to take each factor, x minus 1 equals 0, or x squared plus 1 equals 0. And of course, x will be different from negative 2. Here, when we solve for x, x is equal to 1. What about this? It will be x squared equals minus 1. Means that x should be equal to positive or negative square root of minus 1. And this is not a real number. It means x squared plus 1 is always positive. It means x squared plus 1 is always positive. You can check using the discriminant. When you take x squared plus 1 equals 0, here a is equal to 1, b equals 0, c is equal to 1. So the discriminant will be equal to b squared minus 4ac. b, it is 0, I have a 0, minus 4 times 1, then c, and I get negative 4. Remember that when you have ax squared plus bx plus c, a quadratic expression, when the leading coefficient is positive and the discriminant is negative, means that this expression is always positive. Ax squared plus bx plus c is always positive. In the case the discriminant is negative, still negative, and the leading coefficient, I mean a, is negative, this expression will be always negative. So we are going to make outdoor our diagram, sign or sign diagram. The sign diagram, we work on number line. The variable is x. We have x minus 1. This is the factor. Also, we have x squared plus 1. And I have my denominator, x plus 2. The roots, we have 1. Also, we have, let's start by negative 2, which is here. Let's put 1 here. Positive infinity. Of course, we cannot forget negative infinity. And for this equation, x minus 1, the root is 1. Means that here it is 0. For any value of x greater than 1, x minus 1 is positive. For any value of x less than 1, x minus 1 will be negative. You can try, for instance, 0. 0 is less than 1. When you replace x by 0, you get a negative 1. So it means that this is negative. And when you try x to be 2, for instance, you'd be having 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1, which is positive. Hope you are together. For this expression x squared plus 1, we have realized that it is always positive as its discriminant is negative. Are we together? And the coefficient, leading coefficient A, is also positive. So this is always a positive. So I'm free to put the positive sign everywhere. For x plus 2, the root was negative 2. For any value of x greater than minus 2, for instance, 0, you see plus x by 0, you will get 0 plus 2, which is equal to 2. It is positive. Means that at the right of negative 2, it is positive. The other side is negative. Then we need the product of sign. So we have x minus 1 times x squared plus 1 divided by x plus 2. Negative 2 is the root of the denominator. Means that at this value, our inequality is not defined, and I use this symbol to mean that the expression is not defined. Are we together? Are we together? Very nice. Then when x is equal to 0, we have 0. You can verify. Putting 0, x, replace x by 0. You will get, no, sorry, you're replacing x by 1. You will have 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. 0 times 1 plus 1, 0 times 2 is equal to 0. And the 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. 0 divided by 2 is equal to 0. Is it clear? Oh, wonderful. Then, we need the product of sign. I repeat, it's a product of sign, not the sum or the difference of sign. The product of sign. We have a negative sign and a positive sign. The product is negative. So a negative sign, with a negative sign, this would be positive. And here we have a negative sign and positive sign. This would be negative. And here all sign are positive, so means it will be positive. Then I go back to my inequality. We have x minus 1 times x squared plus 1 divided by x plus 2 greater than 0. When it is greater than 0, please, the positive interval is this one and that one, from negative infinity up to negative 2, and from 1 up to positive infinity. So the set of solution is from negative infinity up to negative 2. My interval is opened as the inequality is strict. Union 1 up to positive infinity. In case my inequality is greater than or equal to 0, means that I have x minus 1 times x squared plus 1 divided by x plus 2 greater than or equal to 0. The sign diagram is still the same, but the inequality, the set of solution, will change. I'll be having from negative infinity up to negative 2. Still, the interval is opened at negative 2 because this is the root of denominator. Union 1 up to positive infinity. 1 was the root of numerator, so this is included in our set of solution. For negative infinity and positive infinity, you know these are not real numbers, so the interval is always opened. In the case I have x minus 1 times x squared plus 1 over x plus 2 less than or equal to 0, When it is less than or equal to 0, I need this negative interval. Means that the set of solution will be from -2 up to 1 included. And when I have x minus 1 times x squared plus 1 divided by x plus 2 less than 0, the inequality is strict. The set of solution will be -2 up to 1 opened everywhere. And I'm done with this example. Do you understand? Is it clear? Oh, very nice. Let me give you another example. And of course, you will continue to work with homework. But still, you need another example. But when I'm preparing the chalkboard, when I give you the second example, you can take this time to write this first example in your record book for reference. Hurry up, please. Okay, I hope you are done. Now, please follow on the chalkboard with another example. We have our inequality. It is 1 minus x squared times 2 plus x divided by x plus 4 minus 9, which is less than or equal to 0. As we did before, we are going to change this inequality into equation so that we can have our critical values easily, right? Okay, means that I have 1 minus x squared times 2 plus x equals 0, provided that x power 4 minus 9 is different from 0. This can be written like 1 minus x times 1 plus x times 2 plus x equals 0. This can be written like x power 2 minus 3 times x power 2 plus 3, which is different from 0. Are we together? Very nice. So applying the zero product property means that I'm going to equate each factor to 0. Here I'll be having x equals 1, or x is equal to -1, or x is equal to -2. And here, when you solve for x, I'll be having x which is different from positive or negative square root of, when you solve x squared plus 3 equals 0, you'll be having square root of negative square root of 3, which is not a real number. Then we have my critical values. Let us use the sign diagram. Sign diagram. We have the variable is x, then minus infinity. We have -2. Also, I have minus square root of 3. I have -1, 1, square root of 3, and positive infinity. So 1 minus x squared, the roots are -1 and 1. Between -1 and 1, I put the opposite sign of A. A is negative, here it will be positive. Otherwise, here it will be, negative and negative there. We have also 2 plus x. The root is -2. For all values of x greater than -2, it will be positive. And here it will be negative. Also, we have x squared -3. The root is -3, and there it is also square root of 3. The sign between them will be negative, otherwise it's positive. And we have also x squared plus 3, which is always positive. So the product of sign, we have 1 minus x squared times 2 plus x over x power 4 minus 9. This is, here we have a 0. Root of denominator is not defined there. Here we have 0, even here it is 0. And the root of denominator is not defined there. And the sign, here it will be positive. You see, positive, negative, negative, positive. Here it is negative, positive, yes, negative, positive, and negative. The inequality is less than or equal to 0, means that I need this interval, I need this one, and also I need this one. So the set of solution as the inequality is less than or equal to 0, it will be from -2 up to minus root of 3. Opened, union from -1 up to 1, union square root of 3 up to positive infinity, open there. That is the set of solution. Thank you for your attention and your participation. I leave you a homework. Please, on your screen, the exercise is there. I hope to meet you next time. Have a nice day.